I am, as he said, Barry Laminack.
Tell us your social medias.
I thought you were going to say Social Security. I was like, wait a minute. This is too much too soon. Social media is at Barry is Funny on everything. Made it simple.
Everything.
Made it
Good
real
for
simple.
you, man.
Barry with an A, not an E.
There's an E out there?
Yes.
There's a Barry?
Yes. Never fails. I go to Starbucks or somewhere in the order, and I'm like, what's your name? I say Barry. And they'll spell it Berry. It's like,
that's on purpose.
Yeah. Half the time. One time I was at McDonald's. This is when I worked downtown. And the lady spelled it Bery. Just one R. I was like, well, you're really taking some liberties now. You just doing whatever you want with the name. So, yeah. B-A at Barry is Funny, Berry.
Well, I appreciate having you on here, man. It was a lot of work trying to get you here. So,
yeah,
but you had such a drive, so I really appreciate it.
Hey,
like,
no
you're
worries.
not coming from nowhere, man.
Yeah, I left yesterday. So
Yeah,
you
had to travel out of state. So I guess we had to reschedule because you were playing you said the sea thing with the ocean cruises.
Yeah, cruise ships. Yeah. Just started doing that this year.
Yeah, tell me about working cruise ships. What's that like?
Man, at first I didn't want to do it. You know, like I had a couple of my buddies who also happen to be mentors, but are friends too, and they were like, "Man, you got to get on the ships. You gotta come do this." And I was like, "Nah," because there was always been this stigma about cruise ship comics. And
why?
It's old, right? Like it's an old stereotype that goes back to the, I guess, 80s and early 90s, and it was like, you know, cruise ships are where comics went to die, so to speak. So, yeah, it was like they were always considered like hack comics and no longer good or whatever. And so that was kind of the stigma, and that's kind of what I always knew it as. But then I saw a lot of my friends and people that I respected were doing it, and so I was like, well, you know, it's definitely not what that stigma is or that stereotype is. But I was still like, I don't know. But I finally got to the point where I was like, I need to make a lot of money. I need to just start making like good money while I'm doing this. And
that's awesome.
And yeah, so that's and it's, I tell you what, man, it's a welcome challenge, right? Like it's made me look at things differently now and write different, because what I learned, and this is for all the comics out there, man, what I learned is when you work a cruise ship, you have to be able to make everybody laugh. A lot of times comics are just in a bubble, right? Maybe you're a comic here in Houston that you never work outside the loop, or you only work a certain kind of crowd. It might be young, it might be LGBTQ, it might be a black crowd, whatever it is. But man, on a cruise ship, like the one I work a lot, it's a theater, so it holds 1,200. And I'll do 4 shows in a week, and 3 of them will be sold out. So I'll see 3,600 people in 3 shows, and it's literally, I mean, 8 to 80, blind, crippled, or crazy, and everything in between. So you have to make a room full of 1,200 people where no 2 people are the same laugh, and you got to make them all laugh.
How do you find the common denominator?
That's the test. That's the challenge, and that's why I have a whole new respect for cruise ship comedians and comedians that are out there doing that, because, you know, everybody's got like a crowd, like, oh, I do really well with couples, or this isn't that, man. It's all walks of life. And so you learn to try to be more universal in the stories you tell. Everybody can relate, but your job as a comedian is to get them there, right? So I've got to find a woman who's, you know, she might be 80 years old and single, and then I've got a couple that's in their 20s that are newlyweds, and I've got to get them on the same page with whatever story I'm telling. So that's the challenge, and that's what makes it fun. That's
been different from everything else in your career so far.
Yeah, because everything else I've done has just been clubs. I've just been a club.
Consistently performing over 3,600 people, that's got to be the dream, though.
It's cool. It's really
even
cool.
Even if other comics were talking down on it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a nice room to have 3 times, 4 times a week.
Yeah. And then the last show, it'll still be, you know, I'll end up seeing on average about 5,000 people will see me perform in a week on a cruise ship. And when you compare that to the rooms I work, like I headline a lot of B rooms, man, I'll be lucky to see 100 to 150 per show. You do, 4 or 5 shows. I wouldn't even be able to fill the theater one time on a cruise ship with that as a whole weekend at a comedy club on the road. So it's a different beast, different animal. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like working at Newsfix all those years ago? I loved that show.
Newsfix.
Yeah.
I didn't do Newsfix.
Oh, you didn't do Newsfix? No?
No, I was on Houston Sports Show on CW39 and NBC Channel 2, but I didn't do Newsfix.
No.
I think you're thinking of Owen Dunn.
Maybe.
I think you're thinking of Owen Dunn.
But I remember seeing
look
you
alike.
I remember seeing you being on, like, maybe I just didn't know which network you were on.
Yeah. No,
I confused it.
Yeah, I did. I was on for about 3.5 years. We started on Channel 2 here doing, what was it? It was right after Sports Sunday. It was called Houston Sports Show. And then we moved to CW39 and we did it. And then we did like Football Saturday and Sports Saturday. And yeah, it was about 3.5 years on TV.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
What was that on, like, those production shows? Like, how are they different?
Man, TV. So I did radio in Houston here for almost 8 years, 7.5 years. I was on ESPN radio here in Houston.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, but it was tough to go from that to TV because it just the same as the stage. In TV, it's a very concise, short. You don't have the opportunity to kind of explore and do other things. And so you have to condense whatever it is you're trying to do into like 1 minute, minute and a half. And then you also have to be camera aware, and you have to, there's certain blocking, certain things you can and can't do. So it's a different kind of challenge to be funny. And a lot of people struggle with like talking to the camera. So that's the other thing is you just speak directly to the camera like it's a person, and that's a weird skill to get used to.
Why do you think that's difficult?
I don't know. I think some people are used to human, interaction, right? So if you're telling somebody a story or you're telling them a joke, even as a comic, you can look out in the crowd, connect with that person for a moment. You might bounce around, but you're looking in people's eyes when you do it. The camera doesn't have eyes. It has just one big one, right? So it's a bit different. Plus, there's a teleprompter you're usually reading your script from. So
yeah. I do a lot of photography, so I always liked looking slightly, like if this is the lens, I like to look slightly above the lens so you can see more of my eye and I look like slightly more glamorous.
Yeah. Oh, is that the trick to looking glamorous?
Because you want to, you want us to be looking into the lens, but if you're looking at the top part of the lens, you can see more of the eye. We don't want to see like the top of your eye. We want to see the bottom of it.
Interesting. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but people get freaked out if they see the white above the eye.
Really?
Yeah, that really freaks people out. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's some kind of weird serial killer stuff.
Yeah, it is. Now I'm going to be every time I'm watching TV.
Don't worry, you don't.
I'll be like, oh my god, I can see the top of their eye, the white. That's gross. Oh.
Also, sometimes people get it if they're sick. They have like certain conditions. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, you could just be like, I don't like you because you look sick to me.
You look creepy. Yeah. Serial killer vibe.
Yeah, serial killer vibes.
Yeah, TV was fun, man. It was cool.
Yeah. When did you start doing creative things for pay?
Man,
did you go to college for it?
No, I didn't go to college. I got my associate's degree from Lone Star College. Actually, I didn't even get it. I didn't apply for it. I finished 2 years and was like, no one gives a shit. I don't.
Oh, same here.
I don't care. The employers don't care. No one gives a shit about this certificate.
Same here. I did not pay them the extra $150 for graduation. Like, I finished all the classes. No one's going to look this up. I'm not giving you another $150.
Yeah.
Thank you for the skills, though.
If anybody is like challenging that I completed 2 years at a community college, they don't want to hire me anyways. You know what I mean? And I was in IT, and when I was in IT, it didn't matter. Like, no one gave a shit. It's like, how many certifications do you have? And like, when I got my job in IT, I didn't make up my resume. Actually, my buddy did. He was in IT. I was doing apartment maintenance, and he was
how did you get into the funny?
Barry
is funny, but how did that happen?
God, you know what? Honestly, I was in between jobs. So I'd wanted to be a stand-up since I was 8 years old. Mm-hmm. But I was in between jobs, and I had just Actually, I started radio and stand up at the same time, but I think I had just started doing radio, and a buddy of mine, I was telling him about it. He was like, "Oh, I know a guy who could, help you get started with stand up," because I didn't know what to do. I always thought you had to either move to L.A. or New York, that you couldn't be a stand up from anywhere else. And so a friend of mine, AJ Hoffman, he was like, "Nah, man, let me introduce you to this guy named John Wessling. He's a stand up comic." I was like, "Okay." And so, I talked to John for a moment because they were both at the station. And he was like, "Yeah, man, just come to open mic." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." I didn't have any other jobs. I was just like, a lot of free time. So I was like, man, I've been wanting to do this since I was 8 years old. I was 38 at the time. And he gave me the best advice I've ever gotten from anybody in comedy. And it's the advice I give to people all the time, man. I went to him. I was like, "So what do I do? Like, how can I, be a stand-up and get better?" And he goes, "Man, first thing you have to do," he goes, "I'm not going to sit here and share with you all this stuff yet. It's like cooking rice. If I take the lid off too soon, it ruins the rice." He goes, "You're not ready yet." He goes, "Just do yourself a favor. Do me a favor." He's like, "For the first 6 weeks, don't even perform. Just go to as many shows as you can get to and watch and observe and just see how live comedy works. Whether it's an open mic, a show at the Improv, whatever, just go to comedy shows all week for 6 weeks and go home and write." And I did. And it was like eye-opening. It was like, oh, because you're not worried about what would I say? You're just watching the mechanics and how it works. And that's the best. I went my first open mic. Usually people bomb, but I did. And I had a really good set, my first open mic set ever.
Who do you still watch? Do you still go out to watch?
I don't. Comedy has ruined comedy for me. I don't. I enjoy, there's a few comics that are like my personal favorites, and if they drop a special, I'll watch it. But I don't really laugh that much at comedy anymore.
Really? Because when I got you in the photo chair, you laughed at all my stupid jokes. So if I had to guess, you enjoy laughing.
I like to laugh.
You enjoyed jokes, good jokes, bad jokes.
Dad jokes.
Yeah. Well written, poorly written. It looks like if it's funny, you'll laugh.
It's true. But I think that's more of a, like we were interacting there, right? But if I'm at a comedy show, even as if I'm on the show and just kind of sitting in the back listening, or if I just go, the last comedy show I went to was Gary Owen. And it was funny. He's a hilarious dude. Love Gary, but I didn't laugh that much. And it's because I looked at
Where
comedy.
was that show? It was at
the Improv.
Yeah, I was recording that show.
No, this was a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But last time you was at the
Improv. That wasn't the last time. It was like 2, maybe 3 years ago now. But I look at it through a different lens now. I used to watch comedy just to laugh.
Were you working that day?
Mm-mm.
No?
In my mind, when he was on stage,
yeah.
I was breaking down, what's he doing? Why is he doing it? Where's this going? What's he going to say next? I bet this is the punchline. I would have said it this way, or I would have tagged it this way. That's what's going through my mind when I watch comedy.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No.
It's not fun at all.
No, can't enjoy it anymore.
So what kind of entertainment do you go to on your off time then? Because you got to be watching something.
Man, I just watch whatever my wife wants to watch. We usually find something that we can agree upon, which is not easy, but at least there's a lot of choices. So
yeah, you get a lot of choice for entertainment.
Yeah, I don't go out. I don't like to leave the house unless
I don't either. I think it's a sign of maturity. You're just old and cranky and you don't want to go anywhere.
Or antisocial. Either one.
Antisocial.
Maybe both. Yeah.
Why do you think comics become antisocial?
I think by nature, some comics, I won't say all, but I think a lot of times it's, I don't know, comics tend to look at life and people and society different than others. That's what sets us apart, is because we can bring a different and unique perspective that most people don't have or don't notice or don't see. And I think that it doesn't necessarily jade you, right? But it just makes you, it's exhausting, I guess, is the best way to put it. It's exhausting to be out in public and constantly be people watching and, I got to make that mental note and I see this and I just can't just hang out. I'm always watching. You know what I mean? So it's better
You
just
think
to
you
stay
have
home.
ADD real bad?
Oh yeah, terrible ADHD. But that's part of what sucks about going out in public, though, is you're constantly observing life.
Yeah,
Most people don't do that. I mean, think about it. Most people don't go through life observing life. They just live it.
how do you write it?
Comics, that scared the shit out of me. Comics, we observe life. We live life, but we observe it.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah, how do you go and observe life and write if you don't want to leave the house ever?
That's the challenge. I was talking about that at one of my workshops, man. If you're having writer's block, if you don't know what to write about, you got to go do something. You got to get out and experience life. And so sometimes I'll just, I might make a doctor's appointment. I'll just be like, I'm going to the doctor. My closer now was about a doctor's appointment I had 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And it ended up becoming my best joke. But it was just something like that. I'll go to the doctor's office. I'll just go to Target and walk around. Maybe go shop for a shirt or something. But yeah, I'm not like, I'm going to the club. I'm 52. Man, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
Do you go shopping a lot? You like to keep your style updated?
No, I just get fat and none of my clothes fit. And then I lose weight and none of those clothes fit. So yeah.
Why do you think you're getting so fat, Barry?
Because I'm getting old and I like to eat.
Yeah.
I'm not a detective, but
yeah, I kind of knew when I asked. Yeah, but I thought it'd be fun to ask. What was it like being a kid? Do you have good parent support?
So yes and no. My parents got divorced when I was 6, and I lived with my mom, and she was my mom and my dad because I didn't see my dad that much. But she was so supportive. She made me feel like I was the smartest person in the world, the most talented person in the world, the most gifted. She made me just feel like every child should feel, and it ruined me. It was the worst thing she could have ever done.
Why? I think giving you that confidence is very important.
Because then you become an adult, you realize I'm none of that shit. I am not talented. I'm not gifted. I'm not
Really?
handsome.
You don't think you're
just
any
average.
of those things?
I'm just average like everybody else. She's ruined me. Here I was thinking I was this perfect creature.
Well, man,
It
I think
sucks.
she was like, dude, because you got a very talented voice. It's cool to listen to you online. So like, not a lot of people can sound good when they're in a microphone.
It's true.
So that's got to be talent, right?
That's just 8 years of practice, though. See, that was just doing radio.
Well, what is
then-
what is practice but not talent and utilization of talent?
reps?
Right?
No. Practice is developing talent.
But once you've gotten it, I mean, she saw something.
No, she was just supportive. She was doing what a mom should do. She was like, she didn't want to be like, listen, you're going to grow up and be average looking at best.
Well, did your dad
you're
give that to
smart,
you?
but you won't know how to use it because you're lazy and you like to self-sabotage. And, you'll bounce around from job to job. And she didn't want to tell me that because then I'd been like, well, I'm not
Well,
even
did
gonna
your
finish
dad
high
give you
school.
that?
No.
No, was he
None of
supportive
that.
too?
Not at first. Like he was supportive about sports.
Okay, so
Right.
your
Like,
dad
I was
was
an
a sports
athlete.
guy.
Yeah, I was an athlete until everybody outgrew me. Right. Once puberty hit for everybody else, but it didn't hit for me, and I was still the scrawny little kid, then I was like, okay, I'm not an athlete anymore.
You're pretty tall though.
No, I'm 5'10". That's
5'10",
not
okay.
yeah. That's not that tall.
Well, not enough for basketball, but it is for
No.
the other sports.
Baseball, football,
Yeah.
but my best sport was track. So you don't have to be tall for track.
No, you don't. You just gotta have good, quick legs. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't see very tall track guys.
No, high jump maybe. Yeah, high jump
High
guys.
jump. Yeah. High jump. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. My dad wasn't supportive. Well, he was supportive about sports. And then when I got into comedy, he would come to a show every once in a while. I really didn't know he was supportive. Like he's passed away now. He passed away.
Sorry
It was
to
his
hear
no. It was his. It was 3 years on August 4th that he passed. And what's crazy is I never knew that he was like really supportive and really believed in me as a stand-up and what I was doing. I always just thought, he just comes to shows and laughs and, it's an excuse to go out and drink and go home. And then one time we were talking on the phone. It was about a year before he passed. And I was like, man, Dad, I'm struggling. Like, I don't know what to do. I think I want to quit. And he's like, well, what's wrong, man? I was like, I'm not making any money. and I need to be contributing to the house. You know, Nora, she's got a great job. I'm not doing my part, and I used to be the breadwinner. And it's you fight as a man. That's a struggle that you have of you're not the breadwinner anymore, so you don't, you feel like less of a man. Sometimes there's all these things I was going through, and he was like, "Man, I don't want you to quit. You can't quit." He was like, "Do you want me to give you some of your inheritance now so you can keep going?" And it didn't even like the part about the inheritance never registered with me. Like, oh shit, I got an inheritance coming. It was the fact that he was willing to do that.
He wanted to see your career progress.
He wanted me to keep going, and that meant way more than whatever money. Like that didn't even dawn until when he passed is when I was like, oh shit, okay, yeah, he really did have some money for me. That's great. But it was just the fact that he wanted me to keep going. That's what meant the world to me. So
yeah, that sounds amazing.
I only waited 48 years for that. 49 years. That's good. That's good. That was cool.
Maybe I always felt that way and didn't want to spoil you because he knew your mom.
I knew my mom already ruined me. I ain't doing that shit to him.
She'll tell him. She'll build the confidence.
Yeah.
When later in life when he needs our help.
Yeah, I'll be his reality check. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about.
Yeah.
Who was more fun to hang out with, mom or dad?
Mom, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my mom was the best, man. My mom, she's still here. I shouldn't talk like she's also passing.
Yeah, what's about that?
No, she was the best mom growing up, man. Like I said, super supportive, and she was the mom that everybody called mom. You know what I mean? Like all my friends, we'd have 6, 7, 8 people spending the night at my house at one time, and all of them called her mom. She would take us to go wrap people's houses. Instead of like walking around, like, hey, we're gonna go wrap our friend's house. She'd be like, no, I'll drive you guys. And so she would go. We'd go to the store, buy toilet paper, and then go put it on the house. And she'd wait. And she was that kind of mom. You know what I mean? Like she was a dope mom. She was great. Real.
Did she ever buy you alcohol?
Me by myself a couple times, but not friends. She wouldn't let. She's just like that's their parents' choice. She's like, I'll let you drink every once in a while. Like I started smoking when I was 13. We would sit like
cigarettes or others.
Cigarettes.
Okay.
I'd be 14 years old, 15 years old. I can remember Saturday morning, me and my mom just having coffee, smoking cigarettes, talking about life at 14, 15. But that was just she was like, you're gonna smoke whether I tell you not to or demand you don't. So go ahead.
And did you grow up in the 90s?
Yeah, so I was born in 74.
Okay.
So I was, 80s, 90s kid.
80s and 90s.
I graduated high school in 92, so yeah.
Wow, you graduated in 92?
You didn't have to wow. That was
I was
Jesus.
I was thinking you did such a good
hurtful.
job with not being wrinkly and old. I'm surprised how youthful you look.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, you're just saying that now to recover, but I appreciate it nonetheless.
You don't know where it was going.
Absolutely I do. When you went, wow, you graduated in 92?
You might make the worst.
Holy shit, he's old. My God.
You just make those assumptions. I don't know. I can't see any gray.
You said it with your eyes. You said it with, wow.
That's fun.
Yeah. No, she was great, man. We would do all she was really fun. You know what I mean? She was never afraid to just have fun with the kids or let us be kids and have fun. It was really cool. She was dope.
You have any advice for people who are starting their live streaming stuff? Because you've been doing this longer than anyone almost.
Yeah, man. I've been, my show, Barry on Deck, I started when I got laid off from the radio. A lot of my fans were like, just do your own show, man. Because it was during COVID. And we weren't leaving the house. We were doing the radio show from the house. And so I was just so bored of being stuck in the house. And so I started interviewing people at night after I would do the radio show. And I didn't want to do typical, I had access to all these athletes and celebrities because of comedy. I could get tons of quote unquote famous people, but I thought everybody does that. And so I wanted to start interviewing people in my life that were just everyday normal people. But had a specific skill, right? That maybe people just didn't know about. So I interviewed my barber. I interviewed a buddy of mine who's a pastor and a entrepreneur. I interviewed a buddy of mine who is a veterinarian and also a vet, like a Marine. So it was just people like that I just could ask questions about and learn about their life and stuff like that. And so I had been doing that during COVID in the evenings after the radio show. So when I got laid off, everybody's like, you're already doing something like this. Just do your own show and we'll all watch. And they did. I started my show. I got laid off on a Wednesday, and my first show was the following Monday. I went live for the first time, and 1,092 episodes later, 6 years, May 11, 2020 was my first show.
So you've been fairly consistent with Barry on Deck.
Yeah, so it started off 5 days a week for 2 hours. I mean, it's kind of like bounced around as far as...
And it's sports only.
No, it's I call it a sports talk and entertainment show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, because that was kind of what my radio show was. So I just kind of carried that over. I basically took radio, sports talk radio that I was doing and put it on like Twitch and YouTube as a live stream. So it's the same kind of format, but with visuals. I would make visuals and stuff like we'd watch a video and then I'd break it down and make it funny. You know what I mean? So it was a show. It has like structure.
And you figured out how to do all that producing yourself?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's how it's kind of always been for me, man. I can figure like I was in IT for I don't know, almost 20 years. So when it came to stuff like this, like technology and either learning software, how to use it, or I could figure it out pretty easily.
Are you a fan of like Photoshop and Lightroom and?
Oh yeah. So I use Affinity now. I switched to Affinity because they also
tell me about that.
They also went to free, but I had started off a long time ago. Back I used to own a website called The Cage Door, and we used to cover local MMA. We started off just covering. A friend of mine came to me. He's like, "Hey man," because we were both really into MMA. And he had this idea, and so we started this website where we would cover the local MMA scene, and it started to blow up. Like really, it got really big. At one point, our website was one of the top 25,000 websites in the country, just covering Houston MMA. And so we had done a really good job with it. Problem was we weren't making a lot of money, so I had to be the webmaster. I had to teach myself HTML, PHP. I had to teach myself how to use WordPress.
How do you make some money off of it?
Ads, and that was the problem.
And that was the problem.
Because people in the MMA business have no business being in business. If that makes sense. They're fighters. You know, they don't know better. And the same people, you know, that
I feel the same about comics.
100%. I make the comparison all the time. The MMA world and the comedy world are a mirror of each other, right? Like I'll give you an example. We would go to a t-shirt company. I won't mention their name, but there was a t-shirt company that we were like, look, we get 30 to 50,000 views per month on our website. So if you put an ad up, we'll put you on our live coverage of shows or of fights. We'll put you on all of our interviews. We'll do this, and this. And it's $500 a month, right? 30,000 people can go directly to your site. You could take them directly to a shirt that you want to sell, and they can buy that directly by just 2 clicks, and they can have that shirt in their cart. And this guy was like, nah, like for 500, I could give that to a fighter, and he'll wear it into the ring. I'm like, you're a dumbass. Like these fights, there's maybe 2,000 people in the crowd.
If it's televised, it's forever.
No, but it's not. These weren't televised. That was
it's on the internet.
They weren't. That's the thing.
Well, you were recording. We were doing something with it.
No, when we would live stream, when we would do play-by-play, we would type it.
Oh,
there was no live stream. Yeah, no, we were typing the play-by-play. So a walk to the ring is maybe a minute and a half long. And so they've got their shirt on for a minute and a half. As soon as they get to the cage, they take it off. They get in the cage. There's a banner that they would put behind the fighters. Yours would be one of 6, 7, 8 logos. So it wouldn't be the whole banner. It would just be a little section. So that would be up for maybe 30 seconds. So we're up to 2 minutes of FaceTime to 3,000 people. Assuming all 3,000 are looking directly at your logo only. They're not, right? And then if he won, he'd put his shirt back on with your logo on it. If he lost, they don't do that. They just leave. They sit there for the hand raise and they walk out. So at most, you're going to get 3 minutes of, let's call it 25% of the 3,000 people.
And it's just a shirt. It's a shirt. At that point, no one knows, like, oh, this
exactly.
is...
Nobody's like, oh, my God, I got
this is a sponsorship. They can't... They're just like, that's the shirt he decided to wear, not necessarily that's a sponsorship.
And there would be more than one logo on their shirt. So it was just like, they didn't see the value in 30,000 people on a website versus to them, it was this, like... oh, my shirt's on that fighter. Yeah, but it's not going to sell you any shirts. So it was like, you just don't understand business. So that was the challenge. That was the challenge. But I say all that to say we moved into, like, we live streamed a Muay Thai fight, the first Muay Thai fight ever in the city of Houston. and we would do photography. I'd take photos of all the fights, and so I had to
that's
teach
what I used to
myself
do.
all of that stuff, right? So I had to learn Photoshop. I had to learn Premiere Pro. I had to learn WordPress and all that shit. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I used to do. I used to work for a blog site called RSR, Ringside Report, and I would do the photography for it, and my friend would do the writing.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, that's all the photographs on right. That's
Yeah, I
what
was
all
looking at
that's
that
from.
earlier.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Oh God, wow, that is
Diaz versus
yeah.
Gatsides.
Yep.
Diaz won the belt a couple of times. He was a really cool fighter. I met Oscar De La Hoya a bunch. I met Pacquiao one time.
Yeah. That's cool. It's a fun, combat sports are really fun live. If you've ever watched boxing or MMA on TV and you've not gone to an event, even if it's just like a local.
I've only been ringside.
Yeah, I'm saying that's about it, man. It is so
It's
great
different
live.
ringside. You get a lot of sweat
A
sprayed
lot of
on
sweat
you.
and blood. I've had many a laptop ruined because of sweat and blood. Yep.
No, man. So you were in the writer's pit then. Mm-hmm. That's really cool.
Yeah, we did a lot of cool stuff with that website. But that was where I would get to learn a lot of that shit.
And then how did that evolve?
Well, so eventually I just stopped doing it because it was a long story. But this guy came along and made me not want to do it anymore. Basically, I'm just like, I'm done. This is not. I'm not making enough money to put up with this bullshit. So I just quit. I got burned out on it. But little did I know, it's one of those things. Like life is the journey. And what you learn along the way, you don't know now, but it's going to help you later. Well, here I am now. I use Affinity for editing all my, photos for stuff that I do, whether it's promotion or whatever for my show or for comedy. And same thing, I got to edit videos as a comic. You have to know how. And I've been doing this since 2001. I've been editing videos, so
I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm terrible at editing. I don't even try. I live stream so that I don't have to.
Yeah, no, man.
I'm doing this and hitting the buttons, so I don't have to edit later. That's the whole point.
I literally own CapCut, Final Cut Pro, DaVinci Resolve Studio, and I stopped using Adobe Premiere Pro because I'm not paying that monthly
I got
subscription. So
I bought DaVinci Resolve. I had to get it for a job.
Yeah, Studio's amazing. It's the best, man. If you're a comic, just get the free version. It's all you need.
Well, unless you can only do 8-bit video. I learned that too. So if you're doing any kind of paid work that's 10-bit video, you need to buy it.
Right. But stand-ups, we're not. We set up a camera in the back of the room. We zoom in, and that's it. That's all you get. You get one angle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great free editor. It really is. So I taught myself that. I'm self-taught on everything, man. Everything.
Why do you think you've been able to teach yourself so many things?
I'm cheap, so I don't want to pay somebody else to do it. And I guess I'm lucky enough to have a little bit of brain power.
You think your mommy was right and you're talented?
No, she might have been right about me being kind of smart, kind of intelligent, kind of.
I mean, you're doing 6 different hats. You produce your own show. You are the entertainment as well. And then you go out and you perform on live cruises.
Mm-hmm. And clubs. I do clubs way more than cruises.
Yeah, all over the world, yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you left the country to do comedy?
The cruise ships, yes. Clubs, no. I have not done anything outside of the U.S., no.
Is there a country you would like to perform in?
I haven't. No. There's nothing where I'm like, man, I've always wanted to go here. I think it would be cool to perform overseas in Europe or Australia or something like that. But there's nothing where I'm like, I have the desire. I just really want to be able to earn a good living. I want to be able to earn enough money where my wife can quit her job. That is literally my goal in comedy.
Do you think you have a pathway to that?
I do. If I would just stop being lazy and self-sabotaging myself and make the content I'm supposed to and do the other 50 things I'm supposed to.
You make a lot of content. I follow you. I see it.
Appreciate that. Not nearly enough, though. That's
How
the
much
problem.
content do you think you need?
Honestly?
Yeah, honestly. How much content do you think you need to be able to be so full-time your wife could quit?
I should be posting a minimum of twice a day, but probably 4 to 5 times a day. Every day. And it should be a mix of stand-up clip, a rant or a talking head video, a meme, a repost, a reaction. Every day. And I just don't have the mental, I don't want to say capacity because that's not true. I don't have the mental fortitude to sit down and do that shit every day. Because my ADHD, I just get like, when I first do it, it's that those endorphins and that hit you, that rush you get. But then after about a week or two, I'm like, this sucks. This is awful. I don't want to do this anymore. So then I'll go back to like making music like I used to, or I'm going to build an app. Or I'm going to learn AI. And so there I go. I'm doing all this other shit instead of the one thing I should be doing to advance my career.
Have you ever thought about making content of yourself going off in your ADD?
That's really smart, Steve. I should do that.
Yeah,
every
time you get distracted by music, you have another GoPro on. You're doing that instead.
I'm getting my
meta glasses.
Yeah, they're in. I get to go pick them up tomorrow
nice.
or today. I'm supposed to go today. That's why I was telling you I had a hard out. But if I don't make it, I'm picking them up tomorrow.
Are you afraid to pee when you have those on?
No. That's funny. That's really funny. But no, I'm not. Because it sounds corny, but doing radio and TV for so long, especially TV, where you're wearing a lav mic with a pack on, it just became a habit. As soon as you leave the microphone, turn everything off. Just became a habit. So, yeah, as soon as I'm not live or whatever, I'll turn it off.
Have you had a moment where you forgot the live stream was going?
Mm-mm.
No.
Nobody's seen me jerking off yet. Nope. No. Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm sure that day will come. No.
Let's not speak it into existence.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sure it'll happen.
I don't even think your enemies want.
But this is why you get a second computer. You have a live stream only. That's all it's for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
what's next, man? What do you think you're going to be doing?
Man, I think
going to do some bigger rooms. Think you could do stadiums and things like that?
I don't think I'll ever be, and people fuss at me all the time. Like, you gotta be positive and believe in it. And I'm like, I prefer to think of myself as a realist.
Do you think people break through and become the Tom Segura famous, or they just become decent businessmen and work clubs and make a living?
I think it's all of that. I think it's talent. It's luck. It's destiny. It's hard work. It's who you know. It's what you know. It's all of that. It takes all of that to reach that level that most of us will never see. A lot of us can earn a living and enjoy comedy and attain some level of success in it. And that's success is in the eye of the beholder, right?
I agree with that too.
So it's like, success for me is going to be different than success for you versus success for Kevin Hart. He wants to be a billionaire. That's not my goal. I just told you what my goal was. I want my wife to be able to not have to work. And if she wants to go on the road with me, she can. If she wants to stay home and take care of the cats, she can do that. You know what I mean? Like that'd be the ultimate for me. I don't need to be famous. Do I want fans? Do I want a fan base? Absolutely. But I just want to be able to live comfortably doing something that I absolutely love.
You think you have a roadmap to that?
A roadmap?
Like an idea of what the next step would be?
Yeah, I was going to say, do I have a roadmap? No. Do I know what it would take? Yes. Am I good at executing on that? Absolutely not.
Yeah, because of the ADD?
The self-sabotage and the ADD and the fear of success. Absolutely.
Do you think there's a comic who doesn't have that self-sabotage?
Yeah, that's that 1% that combines that along with that work ethic, like what I mentioned in that list of things. Mm-hmm. That's that work ethic. I mean, I'm a hard worker and I have a good work ethic. It's just I don't have stamina when it comes to it. I can't do that for months and years. And
is there a way to build
that's what it takes
to create that stamina?
Yeah, AI. You build a skill and an agent and an AI bot, and you say, all right, every day I need you to pump me out 10 scripts. I'll weed out the ones that. But that's not. You can't do that. That's not your voice. It's not authentic. It's not you. You know what I mean?
Maybe not for scripts, but for editing.
Yeah, I mean the editing, which is a big one for me. There's some stuff that I'm actually working on right now where I can pass
I let AI clip this. I let AI clip the crap out of this, and it's been working for me. I wouldn't have put together any of these clips, and I certainly wouldn't have put together subtitles for it.
Yeah,
but I will pay an AI program to do it. They're not creating the content. They're
what do you use? Opus Clips?
No, it's through Restream.
Okay.
I think it's Klarna. I think Restream is buying a subscription to Klarna, and they're
And
just
doing it.
charging their clients for it.
Yeah.
But I'll pay the $20 extra through Restream, you know, and it might be a few dollars more expensive than, like, say, doing it through that company directly.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes the live stream and it clips it up. I don't have to upload the video. It's saving me time.
Yeah.
What I'm thinking of is I'm paying for time.
That's true. Friend of mine, Jesse Payton, told me that.
Yeah.
He was like, because I was like, man, I got to do this and that. And he goes, dude,
I'm not having them edit my photos because that's where my true art is,
Right.
right? It's in the headshot photography.
right. Well, that's why I don't let AI write my jokes.
Yeah.
And they obviously don't perform them.
No, of course not.
But yeah, I use Opus Clip, but here's the problem. Another issue I have is perfectionism. So instead of just like whatever, because you go to Opus Clips and I can upload my show, my Barry on Deck show. I do usually 2 hours now, but I'll upload it and it'll chop up. It'll give me 25 to 30 different options for clips, and I'll find one that I kind of like. And then I'm like, yeah, but they didn't include this. I should add this. I'm going to put some B-roll here. I should add this photo from this, but I'm referencing. And before I know it, it's taken me 4.5, 5 hours to make
You
up.
get way more into it than I do.
Exactly.
Once I created the custom pre-made settings, like the colors and the choices, and I decided to get rid of all the emojis.
Branding. Yep.
I'm like, no emojis. Let's get rid of all this. And then I was just like, okay, let it go. Like, I'll do some small, minor adjustments.
See.
I'll change words it doesn't recognize to the correct word.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, for me, on average,
like,
if
I'm
you
done.
see some of my content, just know that I've probably spent a minimum of 4 to 5 hours on it, no matter what it
there's
is.
no way you can outsource it.
Not financially. No.
Not financially.
No, because, like I said, man, I
You
know
wanna
how
go-
I want it to
You
look.
want to get an intern and we can share?
Right? Split the money. Somebody
It's
was
like you need a certain amount of hours, so like you can't get it all with me, but you can get some of it with Barry.
You will split it. Yeah. Somebody was telling me that they were like, yeah, there's like this, you can go to like, I don't know, it was like another
And
country.
that's what Slade. I think that's what Slade told me when he was doing the Whiskey Brothers.
Oh, really? He
Yeah,
would just outsource it?
he just had interns. Always a new intern.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it was good
Even
experience
then-
for them.
Yeah, even then though, man, my perfectionism, they would send it. I'd be like, well, that's not how I wanted it. You know what? I'll just do it. Don't worry about it. And then
You
it's
gotta have someone man the cameras.
yeah.
Is it tough to let other people take control of the camera or anything at all for you?
Yes. Yeah, that's a real like, and it's not in the sense of controlling in that I don't trust you to do a good job. I don't trust people to do it like I want it done. It's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Your work is impeccable, but it may not be the way I would want it to be done. So I'll just bear the burden of doing it myself.
Where do you think that comes from?
It's weird. I don't know. I have no idea. It's something I was in therapy for a while after when I had lost my job in radio. I got real depressed, right? And I was in therapy and we were talking about this, and she was like, "How come you're not?" She was like, "You're so funny and you should do." I was like, "I don't know." She goes, "Let me give you a saying: done is better than none." Because that's the thing is I'll work on something so long that I just get bored. My ADHD is like,
I have an illustration behind me that's more than 2 years in the works.
really?
Yeah.
That. Damn. That's
I'll
amazing.
show
I
it
could
to the
never
camera.
do that. Yeah.
Show it to the camera.
That's amazing, dude. Good for you. That looks
And-
great.
And it was something I would give away for free for my weddings, but I wouldn't put a deadline on it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm in trouble.
Yeah. You had 2 years. They're probably already divorced.
I'm so worried about that. I really am.
They're probably not
That's a
even together
concern.
anymore. Yeah.
That's a concern.
Yeah.
But, I will finish it and I'll give it to them. What I
That's
said.
cool, man.
Yeah, eventually. I mean, I hope. I certainly hope and that I'll get back to illustrating. It's been very difficult for me to illustrate, especially after my full-time job. I just don't have the mental energy. For me, drawing is the hardest. Like, photography is so much easier than drawing. Photography takes no mental strength. I'm like, okay, just like you're crooked. Like, straighten that out.
Right.
Like, you look like your head's tilted. Like, just straighten that shit out, and I'll snap the photo, tell a stupid joke, get a real smile, a real expression. And that's it. But with drawing, it's just repetition. I can't do it for more than like 10 minutes.
Really?
It's hard. 10 to 15 minutes is my limit when I draw.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been able to draw. I've always wanted to have that skill, but that's just one thing I don't have.
It wasn't a skill I was innate with. It was.
Really?
It's a talent that's come over time through hard work, through perseverance.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I knew eventually I would get good at comedy because like if I could learn how to draw and I had no talent for drawing, I know that skills can be attained and it's just another skill.
Yeah,
And I knew I would get good.
I agree, and I kind of disagree in a way, and here's why. I was thinking about this. It's so weird you bring that up. I was literally thinking about this last night. I was laying in bed after my shows, and I was thinking about this as a job and a skill, and I was thinking like, because you get people that come up to you after a show and they're like, "Hey man, I think I'm funny. Can I do your next show?" And it's like, bro, this don't work like that. You wouldn't just go up to like, I don't know, a musician after a show and be like, "Hey man, I think I can sing good in the shower. Can I go on tour with you?" Like, people don't do that. So why do you think it's okay to do that with a comic, right? And I was thinking about the skill set, and I think like I do workshops at the Punchline, and I do those every month. The next one's tomorrow, in fact. But I don't tell people I'm going to write jokes for them, and I can't teach you how to be funny. I can teach you the business of comedy. But I think what's different is there's something in comics that is different in that you just have to be there's this, it sounds crazy, but there's this gift of just being innately funny, understanding what funny is. You can't really even explain it, right? Like I can give you the structure of a joke. I could teach you the structure of a joke.
It's the unknown. It's a surprise.
Right. I could teach you what a premise is, what a setup is, what a punchline is, what a tag is. And we can look at jokes and break those down. And you can certainly use that and, write some jokes. But that doesn't mean that they're going to they're going to be funny. They have the structure of a joke. And you might get a laugh once or twice with it. But like the real art is what we talked about earlier. It's taking that joke and going to a room full of older black couples and then younger white LGBTQ plus people and then an elderly care center and then a cruise ship and that same joke works all over. That's that thing that exists, that universal funny thing that comics have a way of just finding. And that's something you can't teach. Like,
and people who are funny are just always been funny.
I think so. Yeah. I don't think you learn how to be funny. I think you learn how to channel it into structure, into performance, into other things like timing but I think there's something in comics that separates us from everybody else. And you can call it the muse, you can call it whatever. But yeah, I think there's something that can't be taught. There's just one of those skills that can't be taught.
It's so funny because I feel very confidently that I could teach anyone to draw, and that they could draw pretty
probably
well.
Could because it's conceptually right.
Yeah,
there's like you can take an art class, right? But some artists are going to realize really fast, I'm not good at this. I don't have the skill set. I understand the mechanics of it but I'll never be Rembrandt, right? I'll never be Richard Pryor, right? Or I'll never be able to sell this to anybody. Nobody will want to buy this. I'm not that
I think
good.
that the difference with that is believing it, is that confidence, not listening to that self-sabotage at that point. Because art is so subjective. You never know who's going to sell and who's not going to sell.
Yeah.
So I sell a lot to people who are artists. People who are not artists don't really pick up my work. I'm like, oh, I got to own this.
Yeah.
But if someone is good at painting, they look at my stuff and they're like, oh, this is badass.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess from the comedy standpoint, like I've been doing this 13 plus years and I've done the workshop for a long time. I've tried to help as many comics as I can, all for free. I don't charge for any of that stuff. But I also, one of the things I talk about is self-awareness. And, a lot of times in comedy, and I don't know if this is like this in other art forms, but you'll watch somebody perform, not do well, bomb, not get a single laugh, and then they get off stage and go, man, I just killed. And you're like, what were you watching? Like, you didn't kill. You maybe got one person to chuckle or groan. It's not the same thing, right? So their perception is skewed. They're off. And that's that confidence that, no, I don't think the difference is having confidence or not. Absolutely not. Because I know a bunch of comics that have so much unfounded confidence that are awful. I mean, fuck, awful. Should quit. And I don't mean to be mean. I'm just saying, like,
there's no path for them ever to get better.
No. I know that sounds like an asshole thing to say.
But it's an opinion. That's what I'm here to discover.
But it would be like me saying, man, I really love basketball. And I think I could play in the NBA. Because it's just a skill. Is it, though? I was talking about this with Grady Pruitt last night. We were talking about athletes. And it was
I don't think sports are just a skill.
There's something innate, right? Like, that's what separates being Michael Jordan from being, Michael Johnson or Michael whatever. The difference is when you see these guys, even when they're young, when they're in high school, and you're playing against these cats that grow up to become, professional athletes, they move different. There's a different, like, Grady and I were talking about this. He was like, man, I played with a bunch of players that went on to the NBA, and you could just see, oh, I'm not like that at all. They move different. They physically are different. They're gifted. I could teach you how to shoot a jump shot, the skill of it, right? I could teach you a free throw. I could keep your elbow in, but they have another thing to them that can't be taught.
It's nurture versus nature.
Yeah.
It's the endless
That's
debate.
comedy. Good comic has something in them that can't be taught, that those who want to do it and maybe know the structure mechanically of comedy get it, but they don't have what other comics have.
Do you think it's something that when someone has or doesn't, but you
Absolutely.
can't put your finger on what it is, actually?
Because that's the thing. You can watch a raw athlete perform, and they haven't honed the skills. They haven't had proper coaching, but you're just like, that guy right there is going to be a professional athlete one day. You just know in junior high or high school. Comics are the same way, dude. I can watch a comic go on stage for the first time and go, they'll be a good comic one day. I'm not saying they're going to be, Kevin Hart, billionaire comic fan, but they will be a comic if they want to be a comic. And I can also watch a comic go on stage and go, they have no idea what funny is.
Do you think you could notice that in other art forms too? Like, if you were watching this podcast, would you be able to know if they were good or not?
What do you mean?
Like, this host sucks. Like, I could tell. Why am I watching it?
No, you know what? I think you're a really good host. You want me to tell you?
I wanted the compliment.
You want me to tell you why? You're a really good host?
Why is that?
Because you let me talk and finish my statements, and you step back to listen. Mm-hmm. And that was something that I learned in radio, because a lot of times when you do podcasts with comics, everybody's wanting to get their joke off.
I know. I definitely have things I want to say, but I'm trying my best.
But you know what? You have a conversation, and sometimes you cut somebody off in a conversation, or you might talk with each other. But it's knowing, like, okay, he's making a point, or he's got something to say. I'm going to wait for my follow-up or to interject at the appropriate time. Mm-hmm. When you watch a lot of comics, they're just talking over each other, and it's terrible. It's unlistenable.
That's also why I keep the guests on the left side of the screen.
Why?
Because they're the more prominent. You read left to right, so it's about the guests. I keep them on the left side.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I can tell, man, because I've done plenty of these where I'm the guest, but the host does all the talking, and it's like, okay, because coming from radio, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I also kind of want to know what it takes to be a comic. Like, by interviewing enough people, perhaps I can ascertain something that will make my stand-up not suck as hard.
You know who did a good job of that?
Who's that?
Joel Byers.
Yeah.
Hot Breath Podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Joel Byers, when he first started, he was okay. But he was interviewing all the biggest names in Atlanta comedy, people that were coming through. He would get them interviewed. But he would ask really good questions. He understood comedy. I don't think he was a good comic then when he first started, but he understood comedy, and he would get these gems from these great comics. And he built a great library. Highly recommend, if you're a comic, and you want to learn comedy, go watch it. If you're a comic that also wants to learn live streaming or podcasting and interviewing, go watch it. It's really
Thanks,
good,
man.
Yeah.
I'm going to go check him out, and I like to have compatriots and like people to look up to.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask one question because I know you're at your limit, and your time is here.
I do have a heart out.
Yeah, you do have a heart out.
Sorry.
What do you think you could do to make your voice better on stage to get?
You mean
Or
the
what-
sound of it, or like my writing voice?
I like to leave that up to interpretation because I like to see what the comic is going to say. If I'm talking about like his tonal range or if his writing style, I like to see how they answer. What do
Yeah,
you think
if you
you
were
could do
to-
to change your voice to progress?
Yeah. I forget which comic it was. So when I think voice, I think inner. I don't think outer.
Okay, so let's go with that.
Yeah. So I forget who said it. I want to say it was Ali Sadiq. He actually told me this, but I think it was like a quote that got blown up. But I remember he told me one time. He said that thing that you're scared to talk about, the thing that you don't want to share on stage, is the exact thing you should be talking about. And I think that's what my next progression has to be to improve my voice as a stand-up comic. I have to start sharing things that are vulnerable and personal that I wouldn't normally want to share with a room full of strangers. But that's the real funny. That's when that's that next level.
Do you think you're capable of doing that?
I'm getting there. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. Yeah,
That
I
sounds
work
really
on it.
scary.
It's frightening. Like, I remember when I first started, what was the most scary thing to me? Silence. It was just, but now I love silence on stage. I have embraced it. I've practiced it. I've put it into jokes. I've intentionally made long, exaggerated pauses in my bits so that I can embrace that silence, build that tension, and you learn that skill. And so it's the same thing. It's scary now to think, my God, if I were to talk about this thing or that thing, God, that's vulnerable. That's scary. Yeah. And that's what I need to get to. I write some of it, but I don't perform it. Not yet.
Oh, so you have jokes that are in that voice that you have not performed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's really interesting.
And I'll even be like, all right, tonight I'm doing this. And then I chicken out. And then I don't do it.
Wow, that's powerful stuff. Well, that's all the time, man. I really appreciate you being on. Could you please, promote yourself and, tell us where we can see you next, etc.
Yeah, man. I try to keep my schedule updated. If you go to barryisfunny.com, that's usually the source of truth for all my shows. I'm not great at keeping them updated, but I do my best. I also will post periodically about shows and places I'm going to be on all my socials. So just find one that you're on whatever platform you favor, except Twitter. I got off that shit, which is stupid because that's where I had the most followers from radio. But I was just like, I can't stand this anymore. It's a cesspool. But I'm on Threads. I'm on IG, Facebook. I'm not really very active on TikTok, but I'm there. And then of course I have my own YouTube
Same
channel.
social media. I'll be tagging you.
Yep, at Barry is Funny on everything. If you want to find me, find it there.
And I am Steven Rosenbaum. You can check me out at owenstevensphotography.com. See my wedding photography. You can check me out all over the internet. On Instagram, it's Rosenbaum Draws. You can find me on Facebook at Steven Rosenbaum or Owen Stevens Photography. You could also find me on TikTok at RBomb or TTNOMNP. That's the name of my new podcast. It's a tough one, man, but the joke is hilarious and it never stops being funny. I've been telling that joke for over 10 years that, for longer than Steve Carell's been saying that's what she said. That's the name of my new podcast.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's literally been the same joke. Really appreciate everyone out here, man. Love you guys. Have a good night.